is our penguin area, our Humboldt penguin area, and these are the caves where the parent birds lay their eggs, and they incubate between 1 and 2 eggs every year. We've got 8 breeding pairs, and where possible we let the birds rear their own chicks, but very often we have to intervene and pull the chicks from the nest to hand rear them, because the parents are overzealous and they tend to squash the chicks with their exuberance to look after them. This is an example of why we have to pull the penguin chicks from the nest and rescue them from their parents. The parents are overzealous in their rearing technique, and they actually squash the chicks with their body weight. And this little guy was taken through, I took him through to the vet this morning, and he's had his legs taped up with elastoplast. They were splayed out behind him where he'd been sat on by one of his parents. So it's one of the most common reasons that we have to step in and hand rear the chicks, is that they either get cast out of the nest by accident, or they get squashed by the parent bird.
Hi, my name's Tara Hayter. I'm one of the animal keepers here at Seaview Wildlife Encounter. I'm back in the incubation house, and as you can see here, we've got a brooder here with 2 very special penguin chicks in. Now these little fellas, they're only a week or so old, and they were taken from their parents' nest box because sometimes the parents don't always make good parents. So we have to basically take over the role of their parents, which means that we have to feed them at least 3 times a day. And these little fellas, we have to weigh them before they get fed, and then we weigh them after. So I'm feeding our smaller penguins some liquidized sprats, which they get fed twice a day, unlike the larger penguins that get the sprat chunks. Naturally, their parents would obviously eat the fish and then they regurgitate it, so it's a nice mushy form. So that's exactly what we have to do for our penguin chicks of this age, and they'll continue to be fed these liquidized sprats for a good few weeks until they reach about a month or so old. Come on, little fella, that's it. There.
We're involved in an international breeding program, and it's a great privilege to work with these endangered birds. There's an estimated only 10,000 left in the wild. Now these little guys are about 4 or 5 weeks old, and as you can see, they've grown incredibly from when they hatched out of the egg. They know that they associate the keeper with food. That's what all the screaming noise is. And we started off syringe feeding them with liquidized sprats, and we've gone on to feeding small pieces of chopped filleted sprat. And you'll see how keenly they get stuck into the sprats. So we carry on with hand feeding until they're about 12 to 14 weeks of age, when they start to grow through their adult plumage, and that means that they're waterproof and they're ready to go into the water. We gradually introduce them to the adult penguin pool, get them used to being out in the open and in the company of the adult birds. We literally throw them in for their first swim and off they go. And this happens every year. And once they've been with us for about 18 months, we then look to move them on to other wildlife parks and zoos, and allow other wildlife parks to get involved in the joy of raising these penguins. This is Dippy. He's our head honcho Humboldt penguin, and what he says goes. He rules the roost, and he's got his own Facebook page. We launched him onto Facebook earlier in the year. And yeah, if you'd like to be a friend of Dippy's, just enter Dippy Seaview.